The homie calling me right now as I'm doing the show. That shit crazy. I'm actually doing a podcast right now. Welcome to the Corner Store Podcast. It's your boy OMD-300, DexterDavis, coming out of the San Fernando Valley Studios. Welcome to the Corner Store Podcast. I gotta hold on a second. Let me tell my boy I'll hit him back. Yeah, man, we live. Episode 99, man. I haven't been on for a few episodes and a few days. Been dealing with a lot of, personal stuff as that, happens to every damn body. We all go through it. And so it's been kind of holding me back from being able to do the show, which is all good. We back in the building. It's your boy OMD. And like I said, this is the Corner Store Podcast. As you can see, if you just look behind me and if you got eyes, this is episode 99, almost at 100. A lot of people, surprisingly, have been wanting to come on the show. Shout out to Kid Guap, rapper out of Los Angeles who's now in the Valley. Shout out to Caramel Sticky, promoter, model, actress, brand ambassador. Shout out to Mr. Slim. Y'all know who that is. He's been on the show before. Shout out to what's the other kid's name? It's a lot of people want to get on the show, which is surprising me. Not saying that my show's not good or anything like that, but it's actually shocking me that all of a sudden it's turned around to where a lot of people. Shout out to Julius from the Real Quick Dough Podcast. Let me say that again because I sound like I'm retarded. Julius, Real Quick Dough Podcast. Shout out to him, all his help being on his show. And doing some content with that brother out of Ventura. I'm supposed to be going on the Ventura Tide podcast. They out in Ventura, California. Spoke to them. Oh yeah, by the way, I will be doing stand-up this Sunday. Please bless your boy at Ha Ha Comedy Club. If you don't know where that is, that's in North Hollywood, California on Lancashire Boulevard. It's not far from MCA Universal. It's like down the road from there. Ha Ha Comedy Club this Sunday, the 28th of January. I will be on stage doing about 8 minutes. So come holler at your boy. Come get some from the store. And definitely support your boy. Support the pod. Like, subscribe, and also leave comments on this episode or any previous episode. Hit that little notification bubble. Or bell, I should say, bubble. Notification bell so you'll know whenever I'm doing anything on the Corner Store Podcast. And I appreciate you being with me today. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate y'all. Check this out, man. It is a lot of crazy shit going on. Recently, San Bernardino, 4.5 earthquake. Clear my nose, man. 4.5 earthquake here in California that was centered in San Bernardino County. That's just one dang thing. Out of every other thing that's going on. North Korea just gave an ultimatum to the U.S. Get back or get shot up. If you haven't heard that, look on the news. Also, Vladimir Putin, president, premier, leader, whatever you want to call him, of the country Russia, has declared that the United States, the country we all live in, whether we like the U.S. or not, we live here. Whether we down with the U.S. policies or not, we live here. Russian president has said that the 1836, my apologies, the 1836 sale of the state of Alaska is invalid. It's invalid, and bro, Bro said he want the state back. Bro said he wants the state back. How that sound? That's pretty wild stuff. But let's start out with something that's going on in California that's going to trip you out. I have some audio I want to play for you that's going to just freak you out. 1 second, let me get it squared away here. I'm going to let you hear. There's a new law in California that's going to really, really trip you out. This is crazy. I didn't know they could do this. I had no clue.
California that would put a device in your car to limit how fast you can drive.
Eyewitness News.
Let's start that over so you guys can hear this. Now pay close attention to this. Pay close attention to listen to it as best you can. Hopefully you can hear it. Oh yeah, another thing. Pretty soon, with the help of some other podcasters out there, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm pretty technical savvy, but as far as a lot of this stuff that I've been doing, as far as doing this podcast, has been pretty, how should I say, prehistoric. I ain't really up to date. Obviously I got enough equipment and the ability to get on to talk about what I want to talk about. But I've been wanting to do this a lot more professionally, to make it look more like a actual broadcast and the whole 9 yards, like a lot of other podcasters have been doing. People keep saying, "Oh, go to YouTube and look at those." Man, when these people be on YouTube trying to explain how to do certain shit, they sound retarded. It sound like they fucking speaking French. So I got to be more hands-on. So I got the homies who are doing similar things that I'm doing. That's gonna come through here when I get the equipment all lined up, and we're gonna put this down. It's gonna be beautiful. You'll be able to see picture in picture. You'll be able to hear the actual audio I want to play about certain things through the video. So just hold on. But for now, listen to this audio about a new law coming in California.
There is a new controversial proposal here in California that would put a device in your car to fast you can drive.
Eyewitness News reporter Tony Cabrera live in Glendale with details on this new technology. Hey, Tony.
Hey, good morning, John and Rachel. Yeah, the new bill would require all cars in California to eventually have a new device called a speed governor, and pretty much the device that goes in your vehicle and it physically prevents it from going over 10 miles an hour over that speed limit. Now, this is all being introduced by State Senator Scott Wiener out of San Francisco. The bill would apply to any new car or truck made or sold in the state starting in 2027. Another part of the measure would require large trucks to install side guards to prevent pedestrians, cyclists, and other vehicles from getting stuck under the truck during a crash. Now, Senator Wiener says the bills are common sense actions to protect public safety, but critics call this government overreach and intrusion. They say it creates more bureaucracy and is a waste of money. He disagrees.
When the federal government started mandating seatbelts, there were people who said, that's an overreach, you're invading my freedom. I think we understand now that without that, seatbelts can save countless lives.
Now, you just heard this guy. Now, this ain't the same cat that was in, that showed his penis a while back. It was another wiener dude that was in politics who had done that, and that's not the same guy. This is a totally different guy. He's on the state senate, or he's a senator from San Francisco, and he introduced this bill, and I'll explain it if you didn't really get to hear it. The new bill is proposing in California, and this is supposed to start up in 2027, that they put a governor on your car, that you have to install this governor on your car that will only limit you going as fast as the state allows you. Let me say that again. Let's just say the state makes like we're doing 80 now, 70 something, or was it 50? Used to be 55. Say they raised the speed limit to 80 miles an hour. That's how fast your car go, and it won't go no faster than that. Now, this in reaction. Now, see, I got to blame a lot of you motherfuckers out there. And not a lot of you motherfuckers that can't drive. I'm not talking about that. There will always be dumbass drivers that the road rage thing out here is ridiculous. People either driving too damn slow or too damn fast. They're about to destroy this state. The state's already overrun with homeless people, and I don't have no problem with homeless people. Hell, I used to be homeless my damn self. But I grinded and, with the assistance of the government and just osmosis and prayer. That's another thing people are lacking. They don't pray. They don't try to get up out of their situation. So that's why they out there on the block like that, I think. And I know people are going to say this and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's all kind of shit that happen. Look, man, I've been there. I could tell you some stories when it comes to homelessness. Some people who know me know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I'll say this. They're doing all this because of all the street racing. Hell, I live in the valley, and over here, there's 2 giant parking lots with shopping centers. And these kids sometimes it'll be 200 cars out there, and they'll be tearing up those parking lots, doing donuts, and they're taking over the street, blocking traffic while they do donuts in the street. That's the reason why they're doing these drastic fucking things. That's the reason why they're doing this drastic stuff. Introducing a new bill where your car won't go over 80 miles an hour. They will put a governor on your car. And this will be law. And not only that, for you truck drivers out there, you long haulers, they're going to try to put some kind of guards on the side of your trucks so people won't go up under your truck or whatever. So you mean to tell me, is that many people getting run over by semi-trucks? What the fuck is going on these days, man? I go to the store and buy 5 items, 6 items, that shit's $45, $50. And now they want to try to charge you. And this is a tax that you're going to have to pay to put this thing on your car. What the fuck? Welcome to the new world, man. Welcome to the new world. Down there at the border, and I ain't one of them Trumpers. I don't fuck around. I don't like no goddamn political party. All of them are full of shit. Democrats put a man up there who can't even hardly think. You know why they do that? They telling you right to your face that Joe Biden's not making the fucking decisions. That man can hardly think. With all them white people be out there, oh, Sleepy Joe, Sleepy this, that, they ain't lying. But on the other side, you got a whole bunch of ignorant motherfuckers that don't care about you, whether you live or die, if you're a black or brown person. And we not black, by the way. All of us are fucking brown. It's just a different color of brown. There's some people out there black as hell, though. There's some Africans out there, they skin ain't nothing brown about their skin. So I guess that's where they get the black thing from. But we all different shades. But this is the country that we live in. These are the people that we supposedly voted into office like dumbasses that make up all of these crazy ass rules. This dude said, and I quote, when seat belts were instituted in vehicles, people resisted that too. They'll adjust. All this fucking country talks about is not being communist or totalitarianism, whatever the fuck the word is. Been drinking a lot of water, so I'm burping like a motherfucker, my bad. But let me tell you, it pisses me off, man. All these governments in these fucking countries around the world are full of shit. I don't give a shit if it's a socialism. I don't care if it's totalitarianism or communist. I don't give a fuck if it's democratic. All of you fucking governments can suck a dick. And the only reason I'm getting mad by saying that is the simple fact is we tired of all of your fucking rules and regulations you keep creating. It's supposedly to make life easier, but you're making this shit harder. Did you know they're introducing a bill? Now, I ain't too much against this particular bill, and I'm going to tell you why. They're trying to introduce a federal bill in Capitol Hill to make vagrancy illegal. And if you don't know what vagrancy is, that's homelessness. Now, are there people out there on the street who need help and have just fallen on hard times? You goddamn right it is. Probably 60% of those people out there are just that. But then that other 40%, it's some motherfuckers that have just threw their hands up and said, I'm not paying no more bills. I'm going to take everything I own and I'm going to buy an RV and I'm going to park it on your street and live out of it. Not taking their money and going and to an RV park, or maybe going out into the wilderness or far out like Lancaster somewhere and parking. Nah, they want to live in the city though and be around where the action is and act like they're a regular human being while they just fucking up and dropping motherfuckers' property values. Imagine you buy your a dream home in a nice cul-de-sac. Let's not even say it's a go-through street. You've been in there, 3-4 months, everything going good, and boom, some big ass fucking 27-foot camper all of a sudden appear on the block. Now, obviously, you're going to assume it's a neighbor or whatever, but you see some fucking dude coming pouring coffee out in the morning in a bathrobe and dumping water down the sewer, which might be dirty. You don't know what that water is, but he decided he's just going to live on your block. That'll piss me the fuck off. That'll piss me off like a motherfucker. It's people out here that's doing this shit regular, meaning they going out and busting their ass every day. Some still catching a fucking bus. I'm at a point in my life where I'm finally rolling in a nice whip. Shit, for years a nigga didn't have no money. I was on that bus 20, 25, 30 years, man, trying to realize what the fuck wrong with me. I ain't got no car. Yeah, things was that bad. You know what I'm saying? It made choices. I know maybe some of my choices fucked up, but a lot of the shit was none of my doing that kept me down. This fucking world is janky. And now they want to control every aspect of your damn life. And I'm not going for that shit. What am I going to do? I bet you're wondering. And how you not going to go for it? Well, the simple fact of the matter is, sometimes there's certain shit you got to take a stand on. And I'm going to tell you, this shit going to get voted out. There's no fucking way you're going to be able to put some governor on somebody's car and regulate how fast they're going. You taking away people's civil liberties. It's not fucking happening. It's not happening. There's going to be rejection. You need to be worried about what's going on down there at that border. And the only reason I'm saying that, like I said, I ain't no Trumper or no Republican, none of that bullshit. I'm liberal on some shit. I'm conservative on some shit. So I'm right down the middle, which make me independent as a motherfucker. If you want to say I got a political affiliation, which I don't. But if you want to say I'm an independent, and I say this independently, fuck y'all. Not going for that shit, man. You're not finna control every fucking thing I do. You're not finna control women's bodies by overturning Roe v. Wade with them corrupt ass motherfucking Supreme Court justices taking money from motherfuckers. Them lobbyists have destroyed this fucking country. Lobbyists have destroyed this country, lining these fuckers' pockets up with money so they'll vote the way you want them to. He who has the most money wins. That's this country's motto. You already know that. In God we trust. What God? Satan? People tripping out there, man. I'm telling you, some wild motherfuckers out here. Now, this is the one that's going to kill me or kill you guys that's going on. And this is exactly why I say the things I say. Hold on.
Names in professional wrestling. Tonight, one of the biggest names in professional wrestling facing stunning new accusations, including sex trafficking over several years. A former employee accusing WWE founder and former CEO Vince McMahon of physical and emotional abuse, sexual assault, and trafficking at WWE.
What the fuck?
In the lawsuit, Janelle Grant, who worked there up until March 2022, says McMahon texted her, quote, "I'm the only one who owns you and controls who I want to exploit you,"
Whoa.
Grant's claims include sexual acts involving defecation, restraint, and aggressive use of sex toys, and that McMahon forced her to have sex with him and other men at the WWE headquarters in return for job security. The new lawsuit.
You got to be now. I know I'm saying you got to be effing kidding me, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. Y'all know? Have y'all ever watched WWE? For the females out there that watch my podcast, you probably say, nah. You might probably caught a glimpse of the bullshit every now and then, but you ain't follow it. I used to watch that shit pretty religiously, even though knowing that shit was fake. It was entertaining. The Rock used to have me dying. Fucking Stone, all the motherfucking characters and everything. But I always knew Vince McMahon and the rest of them wrestlers was racist, misogynistic motherfucking assholes. I can't control how people think, but to find out, I mean, I ain't really surprised. Vince McMahon is a sex trafficker. Money corrupts absolutely. I often thought, why did he sell his controlling shares to the WWE, to that corporate venture, or that that venture capitalist group? They ended up selling all the major stock in the WWE, which used to be formerly the WWF. And this motherfucker is out here sex trafficking. That's the reason why he's trying to get away from the business, from the day-to-day business. They knew this shit was coming out. Y'all talking about Epstein and all this. Epstein's dead. The only reason he's fucking dead is because he was finna spill the beans on all that shit. The Epstein list got all them names on it. And I'm going to tell you something. Even though certain people's names is on that list, they don't necessarily mean they was fucking with kids, but it sure don't look good. Some of them QAnon people, which are insane, talk about the kids and the pizza. It looked like some kind of way, even though that pizza place that they had marked, where the guy came in there in New York with a gun, talking about, I want to find the kids. Look, you're not going to find them kids like that. They ain't going to be stupid enough to let you know where they be trafficking children if they are actually doing that. But that motherfucker been caught red-handed. Guess what, Diddy? Been caught red-handed. Guess what, what's the boy name? R. Kelly? Caught red-handed. You niggas cannot get this bread and think you can do anything you want. You got to answer for this shit, man. Let me continue.
It seeks to annul a non-disclosure agreement from 2022 settled between Grant and McMahon, where she would receive $3 million. Grant says she stopped receiving payments after an initial $1 million payout.
If, as alleged, McMahon stopped making those payments, she might have a breach of contract claim. But that's not what she's really alleging in the complaint. She's alleging violations of federal human trafficking law.
In a statement, Vince McMahon's spokesperson says this lawsuit is replete with lies, obscene, made-up instances that never occurred, and a vindictive distortion of the truth.
What else this motherfucker gonna say? When have you not seen someone be accused of something and it's obviously this? I'm sorry, Vince. It's obvious you did this shit, man. It's obvious. And I'm gonna play a sound bite of a wrestling show episode. I think it was Raw. Now watch this shit. You're gonna trip out off of this. It tells you everything you need to know. Now they're playing. This is supposed to be them play acting. Him and his daughter, who's married to Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and that's Triple H. You know, who's now one of the chairmen or on the board of the WWE. This is what happened on that.
Do not leave the building. The reason you...
Just what we thought the... You know, Dad, I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry that all my life I've let you manipulate me and use me. All my life...
Now, mind you, this is his daughter, on a show, and this is the heading of this particular video, when Vince McMahon's creepy and weird promos come true 20 years later. Check it out.
Just to be the apple of my daddy's eye.
We're having a little fun here.
Every time I went out to dinner with one of your business associates, I was 17 years old. You don't think they told me what you promised them I'd do? And guess what, Dad? I did it. I did it for you, the things I did with them, and I'm ashamed of myself.
Whoa.
I'm ashamed of myself that I'm just like you. And I'm not gonna let you do that to Zach Gallen. Why do I care so much about Zach Gallen? Maybe because he's my last bastard of all. Maybe because he's the last thing that can possibly save myself. But I'm not gonna let you do it to him, Dad. And if that means that you're gonna fire me, then fine. Fire me. Fire me, Dad.
Now that's hitting home, man. That's too much like what's going on. That's too much like what's going on right now. The thing is, these people are so powerful. They're so powerful in their money and their influence and their friends and their lawyers and judges and all these people that they go to play golf with and fucking drink with and kick it with, that they can actually put out that they're doing some shit in your face. Because I know everybody in the audience mouth was on the floor. I think I remember this particular episode and I was like, damn, what is it? He's trying to say using his dog. And this is the same dude that's cool as fuck with Donald Trump, who, if you remember, said if his daughter wasn't his daughter, he'd fuck her. He said that on national fucking TV. I wouldn't even fucking play. Man, look, it's some shit you just don't fucking say. And there's some skits and some play acting you just don't do. Because it's very telling, is what it is. It's telling in the motherfucker about your character and what time. Now, who does this to make money? Obviously, Vince McMahon. I don't give a shit if I had a wrestling show and we actually beat each other up where motherfuckers was really bleeding and cutting open wounds using knives. I'll never say no dastardly bullshit like that. I'd be morally obligated to talk about why I'm letting them wrestlers beat each other up so bad. And I just tell you straight up, I want it to be as violent as possible so you'll be entertained by it, because that's what the United States and the people here want to see. It's either sex, violence, or somebody getting their ass. Anyway, pause. That's the world we live in. This man actually had a promo where his daughter says, and I quote, "The things that I had to do with business people that you said I had to do, and I did those things, Daddy." And this is a fucking skit. And these are just children that watch this show. There's so many kids that love these wrestlers. And they ask, and they have the nerve to sit up there and talk about moral compasses and rappers need to stop. Get the fuck out of here, man. This place is full of bullshit. And this place, I mean, is the United States. It says one thing and it does another. It's the type of country that'll slap you in your fucking face and hide their hand afterwards. There's videos or TikToks of people doing skits, or not skits, but pranks on people as they're in Walmart or Target, and they're like throwing shit and hitting them in the head and acting like they didn't do it, and then other people on the other aisle start throwing stuff. That's what the fuck that's the metaphor for America. You'll get hit with something and you look around and you be like, what the fuck? That's one of these things right here. When that man can fucking have billions of dollars doing fake wrestling or fake fighting, make all this money, he's powerful shit. There's so many stories from ex-wrestlers that work for him saying how much of a piece of shit he was. And then they always say, oh, they're just sour milk. These motherfuckers are just mad. They're just mad because they don't work for Vince no more, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know Hulk Hogan was one of his top boys. That motherfucker got caught on camera fucking somebody's wife. These motherfuckers ain't got no chill, man. Money corrupts Absolutely. And do you think I need bread? You better believe it. I want a home. I want to get some income property and get some people in some nice apartments. And I also want to be monetized and paid for it, just like I want to do with this podcast. But don't think I'm trying to get paid so I can be a weirdo. I got a woman, and she will be my wife. I'm 57 years old, man. I got time to be playing with these motherfucking weirdos out here, man. I love God too much on everything I love. As much as I cuss and everything, I talk to him all the time about who I am and make me better as a man. Shit. Let's get it. This world crazy, man. Now this, you got to hear as well, because what's going on in Oakland, California, the Governor Newsom, who I like Governor Newsom. I like that. I voted for that motherfucker. That's one of the reasons why I never vote again. Because all these people we put our so-called political faith in, and that's all it is political faith. Hopefully they'll do the right thing. Ain't doing nothing about it. The city of Oakland, California is a fucking war zone. Check it out.
Do not leave the building at lunch. KTV has learned that Kaiser Permanente is telling its workers at its headquarters in downtown Oakland to stay inside, and it's all about worries over crime. The message comes after some Kaiser employees were robbed as they went to get something to eat. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Meeback.
New at 6 tonight, our crime reporter Henry Lee tells us while it's a message about staying safe, many disagree with what Kaiser is doing, including businesses that depend on those workers.
It's just kind of scary in general, not even just to go to work, but just kind of coming outside.
Ariel Crenshaw works for Kaiser Permanente, Oakland's largest private employer. The health plan has directed workers in Oakland to stay in their offices for work and lunch because of concerns over crime.
That's a damn
Workers
shame.
are being told to bring their own food or have it delivered.
I do agree. Because just their safety for their employees. You know, if you can work at home, work at home. If you have to come in, just be safe about it.
In a memo issued last month and obtained by KTVU, Kaiser also tells workers not based in Oakland, don't have any meetings downtown, move them elsewhere, or have them online.
That's a goddamn shame. That's a goddamn shame. I got other videos that I could play, which you can only see the audio, listen to the audio of a gentleman just driving around the city of Oakland. Actually, this dude is a Republican. I don't fuck with him, but he does bring to light quite a bit of the things that are going on socially in this state, which once used to be an absolutely amazing place to live. Now, I will say this to you. The only reason why I say that is because even though I lived in the hood and had to deal with the shit that I dealt with, for y'all to know, I'm Crenshaw High School graduate class of 84. In South Central, they always tried to keep that area down unless you was in Baldwin Hills or Blair Hills or View Park. You know what I'm saying? If you was a middle class, which is no longer exists, if you was a middle class black person, you had an all right chance of living okay. But outside of South Central, Watts, Compton, and all these areas in the barrios of East LA, where they kept the money out all the time. If you went somewhere else, Marina Del Rey, Santa Monica, Westchester, Huntington Beach, Orange County, you would be like, ooh, this is nice, and the food, and yeah, you get treated funny style sometimes because motherfuckers didn't want you to come out your little area. That's the reason why they redline the fuck out of all the cities around America. But today, ain't nowhere to hide from bullshit. Ain't nowhere to go to just chill and hang out. And I know there's people that go out and be like, I go out every day, I do this. Chances are you just ain't got your ass stabbed or robbed or whatever yet. You ain't got your car broke in. I remember I worked downtown. There's a club, I forget the name of it, across the street from the Capitol Records building, right there on Vine and Hollywood Boulevard. I didn't want to pay for parking. So I went around the corner up the hill, I don't think it was Franklin, but close to Franklin, and parked near the KPMC AM radio station. When I got back to that fucking car, and my kid's mom, who I was with at that time, was pissed off. Somebody smashed the fuck. And this was a long time ago. There's been bums out on the street, but they were always reduced to living in certain areas. Like Hollywood always had homeless. Downtown LA's always had homeless. Santa Monica, Venice have always had homeless. But now the homeless is every fucking where. Under freeways, in neighborhood. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. It's gotten worse. It's gotten so bad that people mental just tell them, fuck this, I'm done, I give up. Why is it that way? Why is the government making it so hard? Or why are they letting things get so bad to where the middle class has disappeared and there's haves and have-nots? I'd like to be able to not talk about this type of shit on my show all the time and just talk about hip-hop artists, local hip-hop artists that's trying to come up. Talk to some actors and comedians, you know what I'm saying, which I am one of. A lot of my comedy has changed. It's become really political and racial. And you know what I'm saying? Just talking about the differences between us and our politics and the way we think. You know, I used to talk about goofy shit at first when I was doing comedy. Now I gotta keep it 100. This world is not dope, man. So you gotta make fun of it. You do. Lest you lose your fucking marbles. Some of y'all probably like, oh man, he talking crazy. Lose your marbles. Da, 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 da. I don't see that, and I'm just chilling. I'm living and da da da. That proves to me one thing if you're thinking like that. That proves to me you're oblivious to what the fuck is going on out there. You don't know your ass from your elbow. You don't know what's going on politically. And one day your mouth and your eyes are going to be all like this when all the bullshit starts rolling downhill. The city of fucking San Diego is underwater. City of San Diego is underwater. When has that ever happened? Since if you live here in California, in Los Angeles, or wherever you stay in the surrounding Los Angeles County, whatever, when has that ever fucking happened? Tell me. It's never happened. San Diego was under 2, 3, 4, some places 5 feet of water. Them people out there would never recover. I'm mad. Now think about this. Think about this. If you watch this podcast today, think about what I'm about to say. Imagine if that happened here and all that water came in your crib. How would you recover from it? Because I can guarantee you right now, half the people that's going to watch this episode don't have no home insurance. Hell, you can't afford no home insurance. You got to just get your car insured. That's the only thing that's going to be taken care of because your crib going to be full. Unless you upstairs. Some of the people got spared down in San Diego because they lived on the second floor of their apartment building. What about the homeowners? If you're a homeowner, you better have insurance on your house because if you don't, you're a fool. People say you're a fool not having insurance in your apartment. But shit, who can afford that? If you're in an apartment, you obviously can only pay that rent. Infrastructure, they don't take that money that you put in taxes in the state, on the state or federal level, and put that shit back into the city or the area you live in. They don't. The money they collect from the lotteries in all these states, and the only reason why other states adopted the lottery is because they saw how well California and a couple other states when they first started it was shindling, if I'm even saying that right, or stealing. They basically stealing from people. If you go in that fucking liquor store, 7-Eleven, wherever you get your shit, and you buy $20, $30 worth of tickets and you don't win, they fucking you in the ass. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how many people done got tickets. I won 5,000. You ain't gonna never ever make enough back that you gonna spend trying to fuck with that lottery. And on top of that, they not gonna take none of that money and use it for nothing but bullshit. They're not going to put it back in the schools they said they was going to do. They're not going to do nothing. And if they do give some money to some schools, it's going to be in a white neighborhood. These are just the facts, man. Ain't nobody sitting up here trying to make nobody mad, white, black, good, bad, or indifferent. These are just the fucking facts. Keeping it real.
Meek Mill was held for ransom.
Listen to this.
By the Rolling 60s for $50,000. Let's take a listen.
And like one day,
nobody wanted to get a dude back to 40, right? Because he was gonna make dude give him 20 for getting it back.
Of course.
And kept you out of it.
Of course. He did that to when I did that to Meek Mills and Rick Ross.
What'd you do to that?
So
the club, when you sweat him in the club?
Yeah.
Dude, and Meek and Rick have no idea that Draws sent you out.
No, yeah, they said that because I called Ross. I'm like, Ross,
Boy, this
drop
shit crazy.
off the 50,000, and we're gonna let Meek live on crib. So Ross dropped off the 50.
So these dudes. This is on Adam 22 podcast. I'm not trying to shout bro out, but I did work with his wife, Lena the Plug. Shout out to Lena the Plug. I had reached out a couple years ago to Adam 22 about my son. Shout out KG Hustle, rapper from Compton, and he just shined me off. I had been working with a podcaster or YouTuber, I'm sorry, by the name of Danny Mullen, and did some stuff with him. And Danny was on Adam 22's No Jumper pod, and I tried to get, be on his pod as well to talk about my stuff and my son, and he shined me on. Oh well. But this guy from 60s, and let me say this, I don't want to cause no problems with 6-0s at all. I ain't scared of nobody, but I'm only talking about y'all because they talking about you. So shout out Big U, shout out to God, rest in peace Nip, shout out to all of them over there. Shout out to my boy Brody from the Crenshaw Wear Store on Crenshaw, my homeboy Mr. Slim Marcus who work over there. But they're saying that the 60s had Meek Mill hemmed up somewhere and demanded $50,000 from Rick Ross and Maybach Music Productions to let him go. Look here. That checking in shit for entertainers or rappers from different states is real. It's been that way since the fucking 80s and 90s. And from what I understand, there's been situations where people have had to pay their ass off to get the fuck up out of here. People's waiting on them at the airport. See, some of these gang members don't give a damn about going to prison or jail for the money. Some of these soldiers that they have, them niggas will sit there and wait for your ass at LAX. And then if you try to go to Burbank, guess what? They got niggas waiting there too. You better be flying private or some shit. All I know is this. Why do you think people are willing to risk jail time to extort money? Why do you think Suge Knight, big as he was, dangled Vanilla Ice outside of a fucking balcony on a 20-something story building and got him to sign over his rights to Ice Ice Baby and all that? Because of money. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. We ain't never had no money. There's a video of a young girl. I was just talking to my lady about this. And she's white. And she says, I was born in like New Hampshire or somewhere where she was born in the East Coast. And they shelter their kids. If y'all don't know anything about Caucasian families, not all of them, but most of them shelter their kids from knowing about a lot of things black. Boys in the Hood was a big movie. It was only in limited theaters, even though John Singleton was revered as actually that was one of his first films that kind of put him on the map, but he's a USC film school graduate, just like George Lucas and Spielberg. But look who I'm talking about. And they only limited it Boys in Hood in so many theaters. Most white films get wide release. And what I mean by wide release, domestically in this country, they'll get 2,000 theaters to where a little black film will only get 300, 400, 500 theaters across the nation, which limits your ability to make money. And all these white people wanted to see that movie, but their parents wouldn't let them. Now, she brought up a valid point about how today is versus yesterday is real estate. Y'all remember all the houses that Trey and Doughboy and all that, and Nia Long's character, they lived on the same block. So this white lady was like, wow, that's crazy how California's real estate is going up. Now, if you remember the movie, Doughboy's mama, who probably was Section 8, I'm just assuming she was, because she had them kids in the house, had old boy's girlfriend and the baby. But that woman had her own home. So did Furious, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s father, Lawrence Fishburne, he had his own house across the street. And Nia Long lived up the block. So she was wondering how much houses was back in the day when Boys in the Hood. And I was like, damn, I'm intrigued by that too. Hell, my mama bought her first house on 36 in Weston for like $79,000, like 80 grand. Now, obviously, the work that I put into that fucking house, I worked my ass off in that crib there to make it better and bring it up to speed the way she wanted it. Shit, she ended up flipping that house after when she finally left and moved down south. She came up on, she got quite a bit of equity. I ain't gonna tell all her business, but I know she made a good little amount of money, you know, from what she paid. So the woman said, what do those houses look like? There was a video she showed back in the day that how Furious's house, Lawrence Fishburne's house, was $100 and some thousand. The one that Doughboy and them was in was only like $89,000. But she looked at the prices of those same homes today, not because they're famous homes. You know what I'm saying? They are landmarks because of that film. But even though they're landmarks, you still got to price them for what they are and at the current real estate market level. $699, $720,000. These houses have. The housing market is just nuts. Now, it's coming down. As far as the way the market's coming down, it's only coming down like $20,000, $30,000 on certain homes. Yes, there's homes out in Lancaster right now, big as hell, 4 or 5 bedrooms that you can buy for $329,000. But ask yourself why that is. It's because you're out in the middle of nowhere. Their fucking sewage ain't that great out there. They consider that the high desert, so it gets a lot of colder at night. And also, it's flash floods always happen. That shit could happen in Lancaster or Palmdale or Mojave, just like it did in San Diego. That's why these houses are cheaper. And plus, if you live near the coast, imagine if you had a house on the coast, even if it was a small little 2-bedroom shack. Your house would be worth $2-3 million because of the location. It ain't about the structure. It's about the land. It's about the land that it's owned. Obviously, they think that land up in Lancaster, near the 14 on Lancaster, Quartz Hill, Mojave, California City, they think that land ain't worth nothing. I'm here to tell you, they used to think that about the San Fernando Valley until Bob Hope bought it all up and started building homes out here. And he became a billionaire. Bob Hope wasn't a billionaire for them road. We're off on the road to Morocco. Him and Bing Crosby. No, that motherfucker was a real estate mogul. He took the money that he made acting, doing comedy, and he put it in buying up land out here in this valley, which they said then nobody would ever live out here. I say, if you can get you a home, I don't give a fuck if you decide to move out there, buy that motherfucker. Because it ain't the structure. I don't give a fuck about the house. If it's a nice house, great. You buying a piece of this fucking country is what you buying. Even if you don't move in that house, make it an Airbnb. Something. Because you can make money owning land in this country. That's all this place is about. This is a buy and sell fucking place. That's all it's ever been. That's why you can't watch TV without seeing a bunch of commercials trying to sell you something, from detergent to bacon to cars to fucking baby food. This is a buy. That's why they got a show like Shark Tank. All these fucking people want to be entrepreneurs. But what they wanted you to be is a fucking worker bee. That's why school is the way it is. That's why they keep pumping going to college, when all the time once you finish and they flogged your ass with $75,000 worth of college debt that they gotta fucking forgive. They've been forgiving companies for being stupid fiscally for decades upon decades. They can fucking damn near go bankruptcy 50 times and still get rewarded for being shitheads. You will never, ever, ever get the same treatment if you're just a regular person. You got to make these people look at you differently. You have to make them know that you're viable. And what I mean by viable is, let's just keep it real. If you look like you can make them some money, they're going to treat you differently. The Wayans brother, Marlon Wayans, said it best. He was asked on a podcast, do you believe in the concept of Hollywood gatekeepers? Meaning, is there people that standing there letting some folk in and not letting others in? I believe that's absolutely true. And he says yes too. He says, but why would you allow them to dictate what you gonna do? That's profound as hell. Him and his brothers have always created their own lane. And I had to give shout out to Robert Townsend for helping Keenan Ivory Wayans understand that by doing his own fucking movie back in the 80s called Hollywood Shuffle. And if you've never seen Robert Townsend's film Hollywood Shuffle, go check it out. That man maxed out his credit cards to make that movie. And of course, they did exactly what I said they normally do. They put it in limited theaters. It didn't get a wide release, but it still made money. They try to belittle you. They try to say that shit it's not gonna resonate with everybody. It's only gonna resonate with black people. Lies. That man put that movie out and people loved it. Siskel and Ebert loved it. And it became, now all of a sudden they want to put it all in every theater now. It's a crazy world we live in. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do nothing or do something in this world. Create your own lane, and all of a sudden everybody want to kiss your ass. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I promise you I'm not lying. Am I rich? Am I an example you need to follow? No, I'm just like y'all. I'm fucking fighting every day to try to make something pop. Writing screenplays, doing comedy at little small comedy clubs for some crumbs. Working with people like Blake Rozier, who's a YouTuber with over 200,000. I'm doing a show with him in February. I've done shows with him before. Kat Toledo, she's got her own comedy thing she does in Silver Lake. I be out there trying to act, doing a little small. You can't let this world get you down, which I have. I've sat up just like I haven't done a podcast lately because life's trying to kick you in your ass so you'll stop. Not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. Yo, it's your boy OMD. Dexter Davis is my real name, who didn't know that. It's your boy OMD DexTer300. This has been episode 99, y'all. Corner Store Podcast. Whoever's on this live right now, thank you. I see 2 people. I got 1 thumbs up. Remember to subscribe. Like this shit for me. Hit the like button. Also, make comments. Look at my previous stuff. Watch my stories. Watch my shorts. Do it all for me. YouTube, OMD, KSP. What's up, Ned? What's happening, bro? That's my nephew right there. Atlanta, Georgia, stand up. He's out probably truck driving right now. I love him. I love y'all. Stay blessed, stay black, stay white, stay whatever color you is, but be faithful in what you're trying to do. It's all good in the hood, and I fucks with y'all. I'ma holla. Oh shit, hold on. Oh, it's over here now.